How far does one go to acquire love? How hard must one be pushed to cave into the demands and forfeit their love? Is there such a reality where love overcomes all? If one were to ask the poet or songwriter, or maybe the hopeless romantic, they'd tell you only true love conquers all, as that love is in its nature to do so. Andrew Hozier, better known as just his middle name, tackles love extensively throughout his work. From the boastful pettiness of Anything But to the somber melancholy of Wasteland Baby, Hozier tackles love in a variety of ways. However, none is more striking than his song Francesca, using the work of Dante to craft a love stronger than God himself. Francesca is featured on Hozier's third studio album, Unreal Unearth, which takes the listener on a symbolic guide through the 9 circles of hell, inspired by Dante's epic poem Inferno. While not a concept album, the work resembles Inferno through themes, starting with Hozier's death, a thematic journey through 9 circles, and an ascent in the final song titled First Light. Francesca, the 4th song in the record, is the only song to directly address the plot beat in Dante's Inferno. The song's title, Francesca, is a reference to the character who appears in the second layer of hell, the Circle of Lust. According to Cornell University, Francesca and her lover Paolo were real people in the time of Dante, a forbidden love. Francesca was supposed to marry Paolo's brother, yet in his absence she fell in love with Paolo. Their love ended in death. The brother of Paolo killed them both after discovering. The song begins with a question. Do you think I'd give up? That this might have shook the love from me? Or that I was on the brink? How could you think, darling, I'd scare so easily? The song appears to be from the perspective of Paolo, talking to Francesca. In a sarcastic tone, he asks her how could she ever think anything could rip Paolo away from her, rip his hands and arms from her body. Not even death can end his love for her. Now that it's done, there's not one thing that I would change. My life was a storm since I was born. How could I fear any hurricane? In the second circle of hell, a cyclone of bodies is present. Dante writes, the infernal hurricane that never rests, hurtles spirits onwards in its rapine. Whirling them round and smiting, it molests them. When they arrive before the precipice, there are the shrieks, the plaints, and the laments. There they blaspheme the power divine. I understood that unto such a torment the carnal malefactors were condemned, who reason subjugate appetite. He describes a scene of lovers being swept away by their lust into a cyclone, their bodies so light from love that since lust swept them away so easily, they are now stuck in this hurricane forever. In Hozier's song, Paolo does not care at all. He comments that his life has been full of rapid shifts pulling him in various directions. This punishment God gave him will not silence his love. Fear will not end it. This great gust will not blow out his flame. If someone asked me at the end, I'd tell him put me back in it. Darling, I would do it again. If I could hold you for a minute, darling, I'd go through it again. I would still be surprised if I could find you, darling, in any life. Paolo paints a picture of one giving him the opportunity to do all of this again, and he'd do it in a heartbeat. He'd live through his whole life and die at the hand of his brother if it meant he could spend another minute with Francesca. He'd still be shocked to find her every time, still amazed by her beauty as it was the first time he saw her. For all that was said, of where he'd end up at the end of it. When the heart would cease, ours never knew peace. What good would it be on the far side of things? It was too soon when that part of you was ripped away. A grip taking hold, like a cancer that grows, each piece of your body that it takes. Paolo goes on about the events of their life, particularly their death, describing what was and how quickly things were taken. They were told the consequences of their love, yet they never could hide it. They must keep pursuing more. There was no point in separating. Their hearts would forever be in torment. He describes how horrible it was that her innocence was taken at such a young age by death and the forcible marriage of her eventual killer. Her life was ripped from her, slowly decaying, rotting like cancer. One may think of Romeo and Juliet, yet the forbidden love of Francesca and Paolo is even older than those star-crossed lovers. Though I know my heart would break, I'd tell them put me back in it, and the chorus repeats, enforcing even though Paolo knows he'd have to watch them both suffer and their death once more, he'd go through it. He'd go back through everything to have a minute with her. The song ends with a repetition of these lyrics. I would not change it each time. Heaven is not fit to house a love like you and I, encapsulating the song in a single sentence. The song is a vengeful, powerful one. It spites those who took their lives away, and gloats that those same forces could not take their hearts. It attacks God and his judgment directly, for they could never live in his kingdom. Their love would overcome it. Paolo's placement of Francesca over God himself is what put him in the cyclone to begin with, yet he does not care. As reinforced in Dante's Inferno, how could this reality ever be their hell if they get to spend the rest of their lives together? Paolo would rather be a sinner if it meant he could spend an eternity with the God he truly worships, the love that's more powerful than God himself.